Good morning, student. First of all, I want to correct one thing that in yesterday class, by mistake, it is pronounced as C6H5. It is basically C5H5. C5H5. It is known as cyclopentadiene. Now, we are going to start with our today's topic, that is Werner coordination theory. In 1893, Alfred Werner put forward a theory after studying the property of series of covalent compounds, which is known as Werner coordination theory, and explained the nature of bonding in coordination compound. Now we are going to see postulate of Werner theory. This is the important thing. Generally a question is asked on postulate of Werner theory in exam. So first postulate is metal possess two type of valency. First is primary or ionizable valency, and second is secondary or non-ionizable valency. Primary valency are those valency in which metal exhibit formation of its simple salt. It is important. For example, in COCl3, primary valency is 3. Primary valency correspond to the normal oxidation state of metal, and it is ionizable. Secondary valency are those valency in which metal exercise towards neutral or negative groups, that is ligands, in the formation of complex ion. Secondary valency correspond to the coordination number of a metal, and it is a non-ionizable. It is important. Secondary valencies are non-ionizable. For example, in this complex, secondary valency is 6 because its coordination number is 6. So, in next point, every metal atom has tendency to satisfy both its primary and secondary valency. Primary valency is satisfied by negative ions. It is important. Primary valency is satisfied by negative ions, whereas secondary valency is satisfied by negative ions or neutral ligands. In such cases, negative ion may satisfy both type of valency simultaneously. The secondary valency are directional in nature. It is too much important point. That is, they are directed towards the fixed position in the phase, and this leads to the definite geometry of coordination compound. In short, we can say that the geometry of the compound or coordination complex is due to the secondary valency. For example, if a metal ion has a 6 secondary valency, then they are arranged octahedrally around the central metal atom or ion. If it has a 4 secondary valency, then they are arranged in tetrahedral or a square planar manner around your central metal ion. The secondary valency thus determine the stereochemistry of complex. Primary valencies are non-directional. It simply means that your primary valency does not decide the geometry of your complex. Explanation of structure of cobalt-3 on the basis of Werner's theory. Werner isolated different cobalaminds by the reaction of cobalt chloride and ammonia. So these compounds which are written here, that is COCl3 6NH3, COCl3 5NH3, COCl3 4NH3, and COCl3 thrice NH3. This is prepared by Werner, and he explain his theory and give the structure of this compound. So now we are going to see how he give the structure of this compound. Just see, for COCl3 6NH3, all these 6 ammonia ligands are arranged octahedrally. that is their position in the space is fixed. That's why the secondary valency is 6. That is all this ammonia satisfied secondary valency of your cobalt in this complex, while the dotted line shows the primary valency of cobalt. Ammonia shows the secondary valency of cobalt in this complex. Now just see the geometry of complex. When we see the geometry of complex, we simply see the secondary valency according to Werner. So if we join all these ammonia with your central metal atom, we got octahedral geometry. So on this basis, Werner says that this molecular formula, that is COCl3 6NH3, can be written as like this. That is CO NH3 by 6 Cl3. In this compound, we see clear cut see that ligancy of cobalt is 6 and it have octahedral structure. In the same manner, Werner explained all these two compound. Now just see here in this compound, this is your first amine, this is your second amine, this is your third amine, this is your fourth amine ligand, and this is your fifth amine ligand. But at just see at this Cl. This Cl is joined by solid line as well as dotted line. The solid line simply means that this chlorine satisfied secondary valency of cobalt. 5 amines also satisfied secondary valency of your cobalt. So total number of secondary valency of this cobalt is 6, out of which 5 is satisfied by your amine groups and 1 is satisfied by your chlorine atom. At the same time, just see this chlorine is also denoted with dot line. So this dotted line simply says that this chlorine is also satisfying primary valency of cobalt. So one of the primary valency of this cobalt is satisfied by this chlorine, and also one of the secondary valency is also satisfied by this chlorine. These are two chlorine basically which are shown with a dotted line only is only satisfied primary valency of cobalt. So total number of primary valency in this case of cobalt is 3, and all 3 primary valency is satisfied by chloride or chlorine. And just see all 6 secondary valency of a chlorine, out of 6, 5 is satisfied by amine and 1 is satisfied by chlorine. The geometry of this compound is octahedral, and on the basis of this, Werner suggested this structure of this compound, this molecular formula. So this COCl3 amine is basically written as into bracket CO NH3 by 5 Cl2. Just see for molecular formula COCl3 4NH3, the 4 secondary valency are satisfied by 4 amine group and 2 secondary valency are satisfied by 2 chlorine atom. That's why into bracket it is written as CONH3 by 4 Cl2, because this is the place where secondary valency is written. Now just see only one chlorine atom, this dot chlorine, it satisfied primary valency of cobalt, as well as this 2 chlorine also satisfied primary valency of cobalt. So this chlorine is written outside the bracket, but while writing this chlorine, this 2 chlorine atom they are also satisfying secondary valency of cobalt. That's why they are written inside the bracket. So in overall discussion, we can say that out of 6 secondary valency, 4 secondary valency is satisfied by 4 amine groups and 2 chlorine atoms, while 3 primary valency of this cobalt is satisfied by 3 chlorine atoms. So that's why structural formula of this compound is written as CONH3 by 4 Cl2Cl. Now just see COCl3 3NH3. In this structure, just see that all out of 6 secondary valency, 3 is satisfied by 3 amine ligand and 3 is satisfied by 3 chlorine atom. So all 6 secondary valency are written into the bracket. So structure is written as CONH3 by 3 Cl3, but at the same time this Cl satisfied primary valency of cobalt also. That's why they are shown with a dotted line. So this is the structural formula given by Werner for molecular formula COCl3 3NH3. Now we are going to see verification of Werner's theory. How Werner's theory is verified. Verification of Werner's theory basically done by two methods. First is precipitation method and second one is molar conductance method. So just see, when your all complexes which is synthesized by Werner is reacted with AgNO3 solution, what's going to be happen? When your first complex, that is COCl3 6NH3, which structural formula is given like this, when it is reacted with your AgNO3, that is silver nitrate solution, so basically 3 mole of AgCl is precipitate. Why this 3 moles of AgCl is precipitate? Because this complex is ionized like this, CONH3 6 3 plus and plus 3Cl minus. Basically your this 3Cl minus is reacted with AgNO3 and 3 moles of AgCl is precipitate. When your second compound, that is COCl3 5NH3, is reacted with AgNO3, 2 moles of AgCl is precipitate. So its ionization can be written as CONH3 by 5 2 plus 2Cl, and 1 Cl should be inside the bracket. When your this compound is treated with AgNO3, so 1 mole of AgCl is precipitate, and when your this compound is treated with AgNO3, there is no precipitation of AgCl3. It simply means that there is no ionization, because there is no counter ion is present in this compound. In this complex structure, there is no counter ion. In this structural formula, there is 3 Cl atom is present as a counter ion. Here is 2 Cl atom is present as a counter ion. Here is 1 Cl ion is present as a counter ion. When this compound are dissolved in a water or suitable solvent, so that's why this counter ion gets separated from your complex ion. So in this case, no such a counter ion is present, and that's why there is no ionization, and because of that there is no precipitation. Now the second method is molar conductance method. So basically molar conductance of all the complex solution is taken, and from molar conductance value number of ions can easily be calculated. So molar conductance of your first complex, it comes as a 390, and from this molar conductance value, when number of ions is calculated, the number got as 4. So this ionization which is written, it is correct because there is 3Cl minus 3Cl ion and one complex ion, so total 3 plus 4, and it verify the postulate of your Werner theory. In a second case, the value comes at 262. So number of ions from this value is calculated as a 3, and this ionization which is written here, it is also correct then, because 2Cl atom, 2Cl ions, and this is one complex ion. Molar conductance for this complex is 102, and from that number of ions is calculated as 2. So we got, so this ionization which is written here, it is correct one, so which is cross verified. And for this complex, we know that there is no counter ion, so there is no ions. This compound not dissociate. This complex is not dissociate because there is no counter ion is present. So number of ions when this compound is put in suitable solvent, there is no ions formation taking place. So that's why there is no ionization. So molar conductance value comes as a 0. The number of ions is also 0. Thus the molar conductance measurement supports Werner theory of primary and secondary valency. Now we are going to see Sidgwick electronic theory and ENA rule. Generally questions or numerical asked on ENA rule in exam. So in 1927, Lewis Sidgwick proposed his theory to explain the nature of bonding in complexes. His theory is basically based on Lewi's concept of octet and tries to explain stability of complexes. As per Sidgwick's theory, every metal ion except lone pair of electrons during the formation of complex, hence it is known as Lewi's acid. Every ligand donates lone pair of electron during the formation of complex, hence every ligand is considered as Lewi's base. There is formation of coordinate bond, that is ligand to metal coordinate bond between metal and ligand due to the ligand donating and metal accepting lone pair of electrons. The number of coordinate bonds formed by the metal ion is called as coordination number. Now what is ENA rule? Total number of electrons associated with metal ion, including the electrons donated by the ligands in a complex, is called as effective atomic number, shortly abbreviated as ENA. According to ENA rule, a stable complex PC is formed if ENA of the central metal ion present in a complex is equal to the atomic number of the gas which follows the central metal atom in the same period of the periodic table. So, how calculation of ENA is done? The ENA of central metal ion in a complex can be calculated by following formula. It is the important formula. Numerical is asked in the exam on this formula. So ENA is equal to Z minus oxidation number plus 2 multiplied by coordination number, where Z is atomic number of metal, ON is oxidation number of metal in complex, CN is coordination number of metal in a complex. So just see first this example of FeCN by 6 3 minus. So we have to calculate effective atomic number, that is ENA of this compound, this metal atom. So formula is Z minus O, and that is oxidation number, plus 2 multiplied by coordination number. Now first of all, we know that atomic number of Fe is 26. Now we have to calculate oxidation number on your central metal atom. So how it can be calculated? So I have to calculate oxidation number of Fe in this complex. So X plus, there is 6 ligand. So 6 multiplied by charge on the ligand, that is Cn contain have 1 negative charge, minus 1 is equal to total charge on the complex, that is minus 3. So X minus 6 is equal to minus 3, and that is equal to X is equal to 3. The oxidation number of Fe in this complex is 3. So oxidation number is written as 3. So 26 minus 3 plus 2 multiplied by coordination number, that is number of ligand present. So see here 6 ligand is present, that's why 6. So 23 plus 12 is equal to 35. It's simple. And the next noble gas number is krypton, have atomic number 36. Krypton is a noble gas. So it simply means that ENA rule does not obey in this case. Now just see the example here. In this complex, cobalt atomic number is 27. Oxidation state of cobalt in this complex is plus 3. So minus oxidation number. So minus 3 plus 2 multiplied by 6. When it is solved, it comes as a 36. So krypton atomic number, noble gas number is 36. It simply means that ENA obeys. Just see here in this complex, Z minus ON plus 2 multiplied by Cn. Atomic number of PD is 46. Oxidation state or oxidation number of PD in this complex is 4. So 46 minus 4 plus 2 multiplied by coordination number. So it should be 6. Not tail. 2 multiplied by 6. So when we solve this, 46 minus 4 is 42. 2 multiplied by 6 is 12. So it comes as a 54. And atomic number of xenon, next noble gas, is 54. So ENA is obey in this case. Just see here in this copper ammonia complex, atomic number of copper is 29. Oxidation state in this complex is 2. Copper have 2 oxidation state in this complex. So 29 minus 2. 2 multiplied by coordination number, which is 4. So 29 minus 2 plus 2 multiplied by 4. So 27 plus 8, it is 35. And we know that krypton have atomic number 36. So this effective atomic number not comes as a noble gas number. That's why ENA does not obey. In our next class, we are going to see valence bond theory of complexes. Thank you very much.